Summit Fever, what's that about that's available right now?
So Summit Fever is a mountain climbing movie that I did over COVID. It was an amazing experience. I always wanted to learn how to mountain climb, and that's one of the reasons I took the job, is I knew I'd be trained by like world-class mountaineers.
Yes.
The ice climbing was terrifying, absolutely terrifying, because you've got the crampons on your boots and an axe, and there's nothing to hook into on an ice climb. You're using your rope wrapped around a piece of rock to keep you secure to the mountainside.
That doesn't sound great.
No, and I was looking down on top of Mont Blanc, which is one of the biggest mountains in the world. Looking down to my right or left was a 10,000-foot drop. And
what the hell are you doing?
I mean, I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie. I'm a little bit of a
Eagles
thrill
aren't enough of that for you?
Well, yeah, this was during, a year or so ago. But,
okay.
But yeah, it's a really cool movie. And also the fact that it's a smaller film, there's no special effects. So everything you see us doing in the film from a climbing standpoint is actually us doing it. No green screen, no stage work. This is all practical, actual mountain climbing.
And you didn't get enough of a thrill doing all your own stunts in MacGruber?
Funnily enough, I am doing a podcast about the history of stunts. I've started Jimmy Kimmel's company. We're going to do an oral history of stunts and entertainment, starting back with like Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, going through the martial arts movies, up until, we're sitting with coordinators who did like The Matrix and Mission Impossible to give like behind the scenes sort of Ken Burns take on.
So which is
stunts.
the stunt that you're just give me one from movies that you've seen that you're most impressed by, or one,
Well, the craziest one I've ever done, I did a 4-story jump off a building on a descender wire, which is, I guess, what qualifies me to host this podcast in some ways. But our white whale for this series is a sit down with TC to talk only about stunts, Tom Cruise, to talk only about his stunt, because I think that's an episode anyone would want to listen to.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, wasn't there one just recently for the latest mission or something like that? Where he's on a wing of a plane?
He released that video of him standing on the plane. Did you see that, Ryan?
What the hell?
He's like, hey, we can't wait to see this movie. All right, we got to go. And then he just veers off, and he's just standing there holding on.
It's amazing what that guy can do. And he's no spring chick either. I mean, not that I am, but like to be doing that stuff and risking, calamity at 60 is crazy.
What's a descending wire? What are you just talking about?
So it's there, when you do a jump or a large fall, usually there's just a wire hooked to a vest that you're wearing underneath your wardrobe. And your life is literally in the hands of the man who is on the ground and spooling you at the proper rate. And I kept thinking, I had to do this jump 10 times to, for various reasons. And I kept thinking, what if that man just had like he seized up, or he had some kind of moment, and I'm on my way down, and it's because he has to spool it at the exact speed that you're falling so that you don't get jerked heavily. And it's pretty terrifying.
Did they take the phone away from those people to make sure they're not like doom scrolling Twitter
I hope so.
when you're doing your thing?
I just know when they introduced me to him, I couldn't have been more pleasant. I was like,
Oh, you always are.
And so then I'm up there on the 4th floor about to jump off. The guy's rigging me, a stunt man. He's rigging me, and I turn to him and I go, how many times have you done this? He goes, dude, I wouldn't do this. Well, because stunt people have their own specialties, and there's certain things that even for them they're not interested in doing.
But what a terrible swing thought. That's
like somebody action.
That's like you're about to hit the most important golf shot of your life. Someone's like, I wouldn't put it in the water. It's just like that. What a terrible thought to put in your head. I mean,
Ryan, you mentioned Tom Cruise, and you see all the crazy things he's been doing for all these mission movies and stuff. What's something like that you would like to do for a film?
I mean, he's going to space. I want to go to space. He's shooting a movie in space. That's something
he wants to moonwalk. Did I see that?
Yeah, I mean, Doug Liman is going to make the movie, and they're going to shoot in zero gravity for a fair portion of it.
Wow.
I think the craziest one he did was hanging on the side of an airplane that's taking off. That is insane to me. I would love to do that, oddly enough. That one is something I find, because who else has ever done that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it, to use the phrase that you just said.